And like I said, if you examine any part or anything that you're going to play, it's usually some version of one of those 6 exercises. And if you master that and get really good at that, then the only things left are like the super advanced, crazy things that you're going to eventually play as an older player.
I added some bonus motions at the end here, not necessary, but if you have your go-getters that want to keep going down this rabbit hole, we can go into some 4s and some 5s. So same concept, 4s with 1 motion, 5s with 1 motion, downstroke 4s, downstroke 5s. As he talks about in the course, when you get to 4s and 5s, you start to have to help the stick a little bit after the natural decay. So it helps them kind of figure out how to start manipulating their fingers to kind of keep things moving. And then obviously after a downstroke, you're gonna have to be able to produce from nothing with your fingers anyway. So now I'm doing like the 4s and then getting to the motions and coordination, then the 5s, and then motions and coordinations, then the downstroke 4s, coordination, downstroke, and 5s in coordination. Okay, so the first one is just straight up 4s. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 motion, 4 notes. Okay, now how we apply that with our bouncing rudiments is your flam 3s, where we're playing a flam on a right and then 2 more rights. So 3 rights, but because you're doing the flam, really you're doing 4s. Right, 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 left, left, left. But with the grace note, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is great too, because then you're also working on your concept of motion, of always having things in motion. Students are going to want to freeze and freeze down instead of having this natural slow lift. Okay? All right, here we go. Flam 3s. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, then we get to our 5s, same rhythm as 4s, but we're adding 1 more note. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, and then we're going to do a rudiment that Paul calls flam-flam taps. So we're taking the flam 3s, 1, 2, 3, left, 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 right, 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 left, left, left. But we're going to do 2 flams, flam-flam, and then a right, and then a flam-flam, and then a left. And that produces 5 notes like we just worked on. So when I'm introducing this to my middle school kids, I just think flams first. Think right, right, left, left. Just figure out the flams. 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly, 4 lolly. Okay? Then I'll add the tap. Flam, flam, tap, and stop on the left. Flam, flam, tap, left. Then I figure out the left. Flam, flam, left, right. And then once we can do that, obviously we'll go slow to fast until we kind of got it figured out. All right, here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, that might take them a second to figure out. That's okay. All right, now we have our downstroke 4s. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, essentially what we're doing now when we're coordinating that is flam paradiddles. If you think about a flam paradiddle, flamadiddle, 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 what's going on? Down, 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then left, down, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's just another way to think about your flam rudiment with your students with this concept of motion. So what we just played is not a pure skeleton of what we're about to do, but that's okay. We have this hemiola. So in each measure, you're playing 3 flam paradiddles, and it goes to the opposite hand. 1, 2, ready, go. So your students should be thinking, flamadiddle, 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 leftadiddle, flamadiddle, flamadiddle, rightadiddle, flamadiddle, flamadiddle, leftadiddle, flamadiddle, flamadiddle, flam. Okay, so this is good for them to develop kind of hemiolas and coordination with things like that. Okay, and then the downstroke 5s are the same thing as the downstroke 4 skeleton, except we're putting flam on there. Because of course, putting a flam creates a grace note, which adds another note. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. And we're back. So now with the downstroke fives, all we need to do is do just like we did with the motions and coordination for the downstroke fours with the flam paradiddle, but we're going to add another flam on the third partial of the paradiddle, or the flamadiddle. So we're going to go flam, that's right flam, left, and then when we do the double right, we're going to do a flam tap. Now when you just do a paradiddle with a flam tap, para, flam tap, that is called a choo-choo. So we're kind of making another hybrid rudiment out of these two. So we're making up names now. So we're going to call this a flam paradiddle express or an express flam paradiddle. Or for short, we'll just call it an express. Earlier with the hemiola, we went flamadiddle, 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 flam. That got us through a measure. Now we're going flamma, flam tap, flamma, flam tap, flamma, flam tap, flam. So again, we're just adding a flam tap on the third and fourth partial of the paradiddle. So let's do this real slowly. Let's go right flam, left, right flam tap. As the left lifts, now we're ready for our left flam, right, left flam tap, and our right hand enters. So let's just do one measure kind of slowly, which would be 3 express flam paradiddles. So we have flam, tap, flam, tap, flam, tap, stop. So that's one measure from right hand lead. Now let's do left hand lead, and now we're going to go flam right, flam tap, flam left, flam tap, flam right, flam tap, flam. Okay, so if we're going to do 2, let's do this slowly since this is kind of complicated. Let's just do 2 measures. 1, 2, ready, go. Flamma, flam tap, 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 flam. 1, 2. Okay, let's take it up to 100. Now let's go ahead and do the repeat this time that's written in the PDF. Okay, and again, if you take out your hand, you'll notice you're going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, all right, let's get up to our 110. 1, 2. It's kind of fun. All right, and of course, we can take this up faster and faster. I think I'm maxing out around 160 with my old man hands. Really getting a workout with that one, learning how to use my fingers and getting control strokes working in conjunction with those motions. Okay, that covers the advanced motions, these bonus motions, but you can kind of mix and match all these things. Again, this is what I've seen Paul use with the Santa Clara Vanguard. They're not doing flam rudiments, they're just warming up these motions. So a couple of bonus things that are in the Paul Rennick course are the next 2 that I'm going to kind of play with the snare line just for fun. This is some footage we took from the lot in San Antonio in snare subs. So the first one's pretty short and sweet. It's a flam tap warm-up. It's just 4 flam accents, flam accent, flam accent, flam accent, flam accent. So we're covering our downstroke 3s there. And then we kind of go to these bouncing rudiments of flam taps. So that's 6 flam taps fitting in a measure of 12/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, stop. And they just kind of warm up with that to start. So let's play along with the snare line and have some fun with this. Okay, and the next one is Chuggada Swiss. So again, we start with a check pattern of flam accents. And then we kind of do these combinations of Swiss Army triplets and flam taps. So we're kind of playing our 3s and our 2s. So the first one is a Swiss, dot, 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 dot. Okay, and then we have 1 flam tap, which throws us off to our left hand. So we're going Swiss, flam tap, and to the left. Now we're on that left, we're going to do a Swiss and another flam tap. So it's kind of like a 3 plus 2, 3 plus 2. Swiss, flam tap, and then we have 2 more partials left, which means we're going to do a flam tap to get us to our left hand. So we have Swiss, flam tap, Swiss, flam tap, stop off the left hand. Let's do that slowly. Okay, and then now we're on our left flam accents. And then we do the same thing. We go Swiss, flam tap, stop. Okay, that's the first half. Then we're gonna do the same check, flam accents. Then we're gonna do 2 flam taps in a row, flam tap, interrupted by a Swiss, and then another flam tap, and then a Swiss to send us off to our left hand. So we have flam tap, Swiss, stop. Okay, let's try that in time. Now we're off our left. Again, these are bounced rudiments when we're doing these flam taps and Swisses. Now we're off our left, flam accents, and we do the same thing. Flam tap off the left, Swiss, flam tap, Swiss off the right to finish. Okay, in time. And then we're done. Okay, so let's do Chuggada Swiss with the Santa Clara Vanguard. The usual order, 7, 8, and whatever you want to start with 2 first. All right, guys, I hope this helps your middle school students, even some of your high school students. This is a good warm-up. This is on a micro level, but also in a macro level in your warm-up program. I would move in this progression. You would do 8s to start your warm-up program, and then you get into your doubles, you get into your 3s. Doubles and 3s are kind of included when you're talking about double strokes and rolls. One-handed exercises, or even if you do some buzzes, that's really 3s. Then you start to introduce your control strokes and 2-height exercises later on in the warm-up in your drum line. The other thing I've taken from the Paul Rennick course is that you want to make sure you're warming up one muscle group at a time. A lot of times we want to do this flam jam stuff and a long warm up that kind of goes from one exercise to another. You're kind of like going to all these different muscle groups and it's just too much. Let's isolate one muscle group and get good at it and get the sound right and keep it simple and then go on to the next exercise. All right, guys, I hope this helped you kind of frame things a little bit differently. It definitely helped me when I heard this the first time when Paul introduced it. The Paul Rennick course has kind of changed the way I think about certain concepts, and it's really affected my teaching day to day. So I would really highly suggest checking out the course. I hope this will help your students feel more facility in their playing and more coordination and learning how to use their finger muscles and how to think about the concepts of motion. And this is overall learning how to control things and still be relaxed, which should make your tone better. And if everybody's tone is better, then the whole ensemble has this beautiful tone, and then your ensemble just has this beautiful sound. So I hope this helps you, and we'll see you next time.
All right, Dre, give us the update.
We're here at the Merrill Ellis Intermediate Theatre, as they say. Theatre. Please realize you must leave, and we're getting set up.
I love seeing the light bulb go off. I really do. I think that's one of the most pleasurable things about teaching. To impart an idea, I'll be just as sincere as they are and just smile and just say, you know, you got it. As a musician, oftentimes you're constantly confronted with the fact that you have to compile a career that has several branches. And I think mine is obviously teaching, writing, and playing. I don't know if I could do any one of those things as well as I do now without all of them together. The relief of coming in to teach and interacting with students, it's just fun. I just enjoy it. And then I can offset that with writing. I'm fortunate enough to teach many things, and not just drum corps, but many things where myself and Sandy teach the music that we both write. Bringing something that I wrote to life is really rewarding. And I think I can share an insight with the students that they otherwise wouldn't have. As a teacher, I feel like I learn things all the time. If you really want to know something, then try to teach it. You know, I've thought about this many times, and I've kind of questioned because I'm old.
You look great.
Right? I'm like 86 years old, and you would never know it.